Hey, what's going on with you tonight? And you know what time it is, and you're on with Big J. It's about that time to talk. Tonight, the narrative will present some amazing subjects that have to do with the Charlotte Hornets. I know you watched that game the other night, and I know you saw what I saw. So tonight, we're going to come on and we're going to talk about that Charlotte Hornets game, number one. Number two, we're going to talk about what coach would make a great coach for Charlotte. Number three is we're going to talk about what should LaMelo Ball do after his rookie contract. Come on in if you're a part of the room. There you go. Marina, the link is in the room. Come on in. We're about to get it started in a minute. Woo, yes, 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 yes. Let me put the link in the room again. For all those who want to come in, you're welcome. Let's get it going. All right, all right, all right. Yes, yes, yes. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. So yeah, we got the link in the room. It's gonna be. I'm going to wait a minute to see if some of our other moderators come in because we really want to get it flowing tonight. We want to get it flowing. This show is going to be off the chain. This is what I'm telling you. Let me give you a preview of one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. Oh, yeah. That's one of the things we're going to talk about tonight. Let me get rid of the overlay so you can see exactly where we're going. Yes, that's right. That's right. Which one of these men later on do you feel would make a great coach for the Hornets and why? Then also we want to deal with Devonte Graham. What will the Hornets do with him? And should they do anything with him? All right, so let me start by welcoming those who are on. One of our moderators, Macrina, she's on tonight. You have an invitation for the room. Let me get the link is in the room, but I'll share it again. Waiting for some of our other moderators to come in so we can share the platform because I never want it to be about me. Anyone who supports this channel and is a part of what we're trying to do, you're welcome to come on. So let's talk about the I can't even talk about it, man. I'm so pumped up. The game with the Los Angeles Clippers on the other night. I was listening to Coach Borrego's comments after the game, and he acknowledged that the Clippers, their size is what won the game. He acknowledged that they couldn't keep up with them defensively. So that goes to something that I've been talking about all along. And what is that? That is that defense that's getting them killed. That is that defense that's hurting the squad, hurting the team. So let's talk about that defense and what it is. It is either the 1-2 zone, 2-3 zone, or different versions of the zone. But in my opinion, the reason that they're running that zone is to hide Devonte Graham. That's my opinion. Because when he's on the floor, he is a liability. I love Scary Terry, but at times Terry Rozier also is a liability when it comes to big guards, the 1 and the 2, right? The point and the shooting guard. Did you see how Paul George and Kawhi Leonard were just pushing them around like they were rag dolls, like it was nothing? I was like, what are we doing? And let me tell you why I say that. We have Malik Monk, right? We have Malik Monk on the bench, who's about 6'6", 6'7". Why not start him? So you see what happened the other night by halftime. Rozier and Graham were 2 for 18. And this always happens against good teams. When it comes to weak teams in the East, they ball out. They're going to put up 30. They're going to put up 40. But when it comes to those Western teams, LaMelo is the only one who shows up, or Miles Bridges. Everyone else goes to sleep and they don't know what's going on. Did you see this? I want to show you what great defense looked like in a man-to-man. Did you see when the Clippers were on defense and their man-to-man rotation and how fast they were, it actually made Charlotte defense look sluggish and slow. That's why on one of my videos I said Charlotte needs to go and run wind sprints because they're tired. There's no energy when it comes to defense, and they are slow. So what am I saying? Is it Coach Borrego or is it the athletes that MJ put around LaMelo Ball and the team? All right, I don't have a problem. Well, I'm going to tell you something you might not agree with. Cody Martin plays above the rim when it comes to the West. For whatever reason, I don't know, but he plays above the rim. That I do like. All right, but when it comes to everything else, no, there's no consistency. There's no flow. There's no creativeness. There's really no defensive structure. Because what I said before, if you're going to play that zone, you have to be able with the art of speed to rotate. And that's not happening. That's why it looks like everybody is all over the place. That's why it looks like people just running around, because the defense is not consistent. I don't even know if the players know what the defense really holds or what it is. Now, I'm going to show you something else. When it comes to small guards on offense, here's what will beat a man-to-man or a pick and roll. When you have someone outside, not PJ Washington, I'm sorry, it takes him too long to get going, who can hit the three and he's consistent, that will spread the floor and give other individuals opportunity to get to the rim. Point number two, when it comes to LaMelo Ball, he is an expert in the pick and roll. Why they don't do that, I'm confused. Why they don't start at the top, go from the outside in and back, and use Biz and LaMelo to run that pick and roll. If you go back in the beginning of the year, it was working well. And that's what LaMelo and Biz were doing. That's why Biz was always getting to the hole, because that pick and roll would start outside. And if Biz could not get to the, watch this, if he could not get to the rack, then there was someone else who was sitting on the outside, or LaMelo would go to that spot and hit a three. That spreads the floor and it opens what? The offense. Right now, I don't know what they're running. I don't know who's running, where they're running. It's hard to say. You can leave comments in the room. Also, there's a link in the room if you want to come on with us today. We have moderators who are helping us in the channel, but you're welcome to come on in. So if we look at the truth is, number one, there's no consistent offense. There's no consistent flow to the offense because LaMelo Ball is isolated or separated. And he's, for some reason, they make him play off ball. They zone him out. While he's playing off ball, don't you see what goes on? The team locks in defense, and their rotation becomes even stronger because most times the other individuals who are playing point guard turn the ball over. They can't afford to do that. And I'm not going to talk about Gordon Hayward because he's not playing. But some of the other individuals, when they come up the floor, they drop the dime or they lose it. Someone takes it out their hand. But when LaMelo Ball officiates the offense and he runs it, it's far more fluent. It's far more consistent. And he watch this. Coach doesn't even call plays for him. But what it is, the offense is consistent. Why? Because what he learned, where he learned it at, it's 100% better. Oh, we got Ray on here. Let's see what he said. I feel like they need to let LaMelo shoot more shots. I think that he only shot 10 shots. You're right. And what he did, he scored, though. You're 100% right. That's because he's been doing the same thing since he was, like he said, 3 or 4 years old. He knows the game. That's why what he's doing, it looks so easy to him. It doesn't look hard. It's very easy. If you want to come on, you can come on, man. The link is in the room. Come on with us. We have a couple of moderators. They're not on right now. We have one Macrina on, but you're welcome to come in. Anybody. I want to talk. And I want to talk about the Charlotte Hornets and James Borrego, because we have to discuss this, because the way it's going every time after a game, the coach goes back to the same narrative about why they lost. Point number 3. I got to bring this up. Let me take my time on that one. LaMelo does need the ball in his hand. Then they need to create shots for him. But what happens, the team in their possession, they ISO him and they don't give him the ball. He has to basically beg for the ball. He can average 20 plus a game, but he doesn't get shots. He's used off ball to facilitate. That's it. Then when he's in the corner waiting, they don't drop the dime or the rock to him. So what happens now? He's put in a position to where he's almost struggling. And it makes his game look bad. So I agree with you 100%. They need to put him in position to be successful. And he's not placed in that position. And what's happening is they keep losing. Here's point number 3. I'm going to go ahead and deal with it right now. Everywhere you read in the media right now, and this what scares me, it says Charlotte clinched a playoff berth. How can you clinch a playoff berth and you've lost 3 or 4 games in a row? It's only because other teams who are right behind you is losing. Is that a false narrative that is going to present issues when they go up against the Sixers because they feel like they clinched something? Right. Yeah, I agree with you, Court Vision, because of JB. I 100% agree with you. Let's go to this. Let's deal with it right now. And I want to know your opinion. Let's deal with it right now. In my opinion, who would you choose to run the Charlotte Hornets next year? I chose number 2. And Court, let me tell you why I chose number 2. Is because DANTONI in Phoenix with, let me go right here right quick. Court Vision said the Hornets podcast media are toxic. They don't see, and you're 100% right. They're not going to see anything wrong with it because guess what? Those in power or the powers to be don't see anything wrong with it. But guess what? He is not willing to run LaMelo-Ball. You're right, 100%. He is not willing to do. And this is what I'm saying. If we look at it right here, right? You have Mark Jackson, great coach. He was the first coach that was introduced to Golden State that they selected Curry and Thompson and all and Green. Then you have D'Antoni, who runs the Chino Hills offense, and he ran that at where? Phoenix. Then you have Doc Rivers, who is a player's coach, yet he's mean, but he's a player's coach. Let's go here. Pace will be at, yes, 100%. That's why I said D'Antoni. If you remember Steve Nash and how Steve Nash, if you go back and you look at the resemblance, who does he look like? LaMelo-Ball. Not just a facilitator, but a scorer. Now, here's the issue. When D'Antoni came to the Lakers were still trying to run that what? The offense that Phil Jackson instilled. They were not willing to go away from it. The players weren't because they had success. So D'Antoni's system would never work. It would never work with the Lakers. But if you have now a system that's set up to where you can have someone like Mike D'Antoni come to Charlotte and run that same offense instead of this, everybody touch the ball, guess what you would have? You would have something greater, better, and more to offer. That is, you know what I'm going to say, that is a guarantee. Now, Mark Jackson, what do you think about Mark Jackson? Mark Jackson is somewhat subtle. He's somewhat subtle. Court Vision say, you think he would leave Brooklyn? Mark Jackson is just a commentator now for ESPN during the games. So he's available. But D'Antoni, I don't think so. But if he's offered the job, yes, I believe so. But there's no one right now that could take JB's job because he makes sure all those guys under him, you know where I'm going. Ross says, or Ray says, Mike D'Antoni would be perfect. Yes, He centered the offense around Harden and Houston. Yes. And he would do the same thing for LaMelo. You got it. You got it. Same thing, Court. D'Antoni would be the best fit for this team, bar none. I don't see Doc Rivers. I put him on there because these are what our moderators told me and what we were trying to do. We were trying to develop the narrative for today. So I made sure I put all three coaches. But I do not see Doc Rivers. I do not see Mark Jackson. It's my personal reasons there. And that goes why they didn't want him any longer in Golden State, because his personal religious beliefs, and he needed to be off and he needed to be out of practice by a certain time. And I think that kind of irritated or frustrated those in the upper position. But so then, watch this. D'Antoni is only assistant coach. Trust me, he wants to get with a team who can run. He wants to get with a team who's going to push the ball. Now, watch this. Lonzo Ball is a free agent. Here's the only issue, Gordon Hayward. Lonzo Ball is a free agent next year. You're right. Doc does love Melo. He loves Melo. You're 100% right. So watch this. If the masses keep talking about it enough and we keep putting it out there, guess what will happen? Trust me, there's always somebody on YouTube listening somewhere, someone with contact with somebody. How do I know? Things that I've said have been repeated here. And those things being repeated here, let me know that. All right. Who got on with us today? All right. So what do you think about what we're talking about?
I mean, I'm not really a Charlotte fan, but I'm a big LaMelo holic. You feel me? Shout out to DJ in the cut. You feel me?
Yeah. Yeah.
What I feel about the Charlotte Hornets, James Borrego is corrupting the team. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And him and Tay-Bay together is not a good mix. If the Charlotte Hornets want to be in the play-in and stay in the playoff race,
right?
It's not a good idea for them to do what they've been doing. Him and trying to feed Tay-Bay in the game,
right?
And it's just messing up the overall scheme of the things,
Yeah, 100%.
And LaMelo, I feel like he should still win Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion, because he's coming back from an injury that was supposed to have him out the whole year.
Right.
And he's coming back, still contributing, making the team better before James Borrego corrupts the whole thing,
I think he's corrupted it already. Yeah. And I think the players have disassociated themselves with him. But I go ahead.
What do you think is keeping Mitch Kupchak and Michael Jordan from firing him?
See, and that's what I don't know. That because somewhere along the line, someone has something or feels something about him that transpires down to the rest of the team, i.e. Graham.
For sure. But he gonna corrupt Melo from winning the Rookie of the Year.
Right. By his mouth. You're 100% right.
That whole thing and just sending him out when he's hot.
Right.
2-3 shots in a row, and then he's gonna take him out.
Exactly.
Anthony Edwards, the Timberwolves, they trust him fully. They keep him right there for all the minutes. He's going to keep scoring 20-plus points if you're going to get the minutes.
Right.
Melo coming off the bench like he's the backup player.
Yeah, exactly. And did you see how Graham and Terry got treated last night in the paint? How they were slinging them cats around?
Yeah, that off-ball defense is not working.
Now you got it. And because go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What you say?
No, but I'm gonna do what Court was saying. Terry would not be shooting as many shots. But here's the key, man. Listen, Court. In the East, he does it and he dominates. But when it comes to the West, it's just not happening.
But it's
nobody's giving him that.
The Charlotte Hornets. The big problem with them is size. But they have the players. They have the size. He just don't use them. Vernon Carey, where he been? He want to put him in the garbage minutes.
Yeah.
When we don't need him at that time, we already down by 20 points.
Right.
Put him in, get him the experience, because in the playing, you're going to need him. And they throw him to the fire. Here's
the problem. Let me see. Face facts, JB doesn't give Melo enough minutes and enough shots. And I think we've all faced that. And I think that is a reality, because the point is that for some reason he's scared of this kid, or because Graham came up in their system and he trained him. Maybe he feels an allegiance or something with him. But just in my opinion, the situation is the coach. And I think by them making that narrative the other day, and let me do this. Let me give a shout out to DJ Raw Uncut United Nation. Let me give a shout out to them because he big. You know, he big. So I respect him.
Him and Coach, they be doing this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I respect him. I respect.
I'm trying to get on their show too.
Yeah, he'll do it. You just got to keep going for
sure.
Keep going for. But no, man, I agree with everyone, man, that Melo doesn't touch the ball. He has to force it. When you watch a rookie who was drafted number 3, who stands on the side and begs for the game or runs down the floor and Scary Terry is running down with the ball in his hand and turns it over, Houston, we have a problem.
But Terry's really the only one that really believes in Melo like everybody else should be doing. He gives him the ball to set up the offense because he knows Melo going to find him. He's not a selfish player. It's different than Melo was selfish and didn't want to pass the ball. But he trying to find people. Even Tebe, he trying to find him.
Yeah, but here's the problem. Like Court just says, size and real ball movement, they have to give up good shots for a great shot. And here's the thing. Watch this. Clippers are a team out of the West. I don't know how old a lot of you are. I'm 57 years old, so I've been around for a while in the game of basketball. So watch this. Clippers used to be the San Diego Clippers. Mm-hmm. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. Their owner had some issues. I'm not going to say what those issues are. Nobody cared. But when this guy from Apple took over and was not scared to bring cats in based on economics and money, the entire shift changed. Watch the Clippers defense the other night. Tebe couldn't get a shot off. Why? Too small. So you're right, Court. You're right, 100% right. He could. What's that? Rozier couldn't get a shot off. Why? Too small. They couldn't
spread it out.
Come on now.
And then I got a question for you, Big J. Which I just really want to know what you think about this. Because I've been thinking about this for a minute. What do you think Gordon Hayward brings to the team? Because we really don't need him in my eyes. He's just a big check that Michael Jordan wanted because he's thinking the next Larry Bird. And he's not. He slows down the pace, looks off Melo, and then when he not healthy, he never healthy for a whole season.
Right. Here's my point, and here's my issue with Hayward. I try to do a lot of research and a lot of studies, so when I come on and I give a narrative, I have information that's correct and conducive for the hearers. All right. So what I try to do, I go all the way back to these cats' college days, right? Mm-hmm. And when I go back to Gordon Hayward's college days, who remembers when when the Hornets played the Lakers and he was under the basket by himself and missed the layup?
I remember that.
You know what it is? That's something that he's dealing with for a long period of time. And what that thing is when he played at Butler and Duke beat Butler and he missed 2 shots. Man, I'm telling you, I'm not a psychiatrist or nothing, but in his head, those things he's still dealing with. That's right, Ron didn't say. I'm telling you, he's still dealing with that stuff. And because teams don't look at players from that perspective, they look at their possibilities. You can't spend $120 million on a possibility because you're gonna mess up everything. Lonzo only won $20 million a year for 4 or 5 years. That's not a lot of money.
That's what they need to do is get Lonzo if they want to keep Melo at all.
Right.
So I feel like Melo, he playing his cards right, trying to be cool, but in his head, he ready for that contract to be up.
Exactly. Because he's ready. And I'm telling you why. It's not the market, because you wouldn't have spent $10 million on a home next to Michael Jordan if you was ready to get out of there. It is the coach.
But I'm saying, like, with the house, that's a house. You feel me? That's collateral. He could build that, sell that. He don't care about the house like that. He love basketball. His dad instilled in him the business aspect. He already got his own. He owns a piece of that headphone company. With Michael Jordan owned that too.
Yes.
So he already doing big things with businesses. He don't care about the collateral with houses and stuff. He'll move just to play on a good atmosphere that would be conducive to him.
Yeah, 100% right. Facts.
But with Gordon Hayward, he be cracking me up the way they be putting the camera on him on the bench.
He acts like he don't want to be there.
He don't. He low key in his head. He want them to do bad so he can be like. They can be like, oh, without Gordon, they're nothing. They can't.
Yeah, but watch this. nobody's going to pick up that contract. They're not going to do it.
For sure.
That's 120 million. And it's what I'm telling you. What was Jordan thinking? Lonzo is no longer under contract after this season. He only wants 21 million a year. That's nothing for what he's producing now. But now you're stuck. And with the cap, they got to move a lot of players, man, just to make room.
They could do a buyout, but I doubt that.
Yeah, not at that amount.
I'm saying Michael Jordan, they're not going to want to do it. The ego. They don't want to say they're wrong.
Right.
But then, is that worth ruining your chances? Like, this about to be the first time they in any playoff chances at all. I know they hate about this play-in tournament because if it wasn't for the play-in tournament, they'd be in the playoffs easy. First time in 13 years?
That's right. That's right.
So it's like, and Bismack, I like his presence. He's a good veteran, good leader. I like the way he speaks about things. He's not in the big head and stuff. But
he can play a little bit, but he
can't
too small.
Catch the ball. Him and Kobe,
he's too small.
They can't catch the ball.
Yep.
Fumbling the ball, like, man.
Hey, Trent Tompkins said this, and it's a valid point. Facts. He said, and he's aging on top of injuries prone, being injury prone. I never forget, man. I watched, who was he with at that time? Not Utah. The Celtics. Yes, and they were playing against Miami. And I saw what's the young man that plays for the Nets? Oh, Kyrie Irving. Oh, yeah, Kyrie. I saw Kyrie blast him and get up in him, and Gordon walked away with his head down. So when I'm telling you, man, yeah, you're right. You're right. His bell has been rung by mistakes.
Nobody like to get called out when they on their BS, you know?
Yes, sir. Watch this. Court says Melo been playing better than Hayward the whole season. To me, there you go again. But watch this. And you also, if you keep Hayward, now you got to get rid of possibly Miles Bridges' contract.
If they do that, they want like Armageddon.
Now you got it going. Now you got it. Then they got to get rid of. They got to get rid of other contracts. You need. Watch this. I promise you, because I was reading an article today, getting ready for the show, is that Terry Rozier, this is his last year under contract. They will sign him even as for the minimum. They're not gonna let him go. Why? Sure. He is that. I'm gonna say it like this, so I won't get in trouble. He is that house dude, no matter what. And they're gonna keep him right around. Because watch this. When push came to shove and LaMelo got hurt, man, his smile was back. His swag was back.
For sure. But then the big thing that backfired on them was that Miles Bridges took off the way he did. Because that looked bad on the Gordon Hayward thing, because they've been had him like for what, 3 years already? He got drafted there. So they paid $120 million when they already had Miles Bridges that's more athletic. His shot is way better than they thought that it would be. Right. And he's contributing big for them. Yeah. So how you gonna get him in the starting lineup again?
And that's an issue. That's why he said Melo is leaving. If they don't keep Miles Bridges. I agree with you. Them is real boys, man. They real.
He's leaving if they keep Devonte Graham.
Exactly. We need a real wing. That's it. There's nothing else I can say. That is on point right there. And this is what I was saying yesterday on one of my shows. I said this. If you get LaMelo Ball at the top with a good center, right? Because LaMelo in Australia, man, he was killing teams on the pick and roll. And that's all they talked about, that this kid's pick and roll game is amazing. How much have you seen pick and roll right now in Charlotte using LaMelo?
None. He does it himself.
Yes.
There's not no plays like call for that unless they screen it for Terry Rozier for a three.
Yes. But watch this. You can get the three. Just what pick and roll, let that big man shoot, set the screen, throw the ball in, and if there's nothing there, so Biz does not have to fumble the ball, or Cody Zeller kick the ball out now to the three, as long as the floor is spread.
For sure.
How hard is that? That gets me, man.
But that if you were the coach of the Charlotte Hornets, what would be your starting five in the play-in tournament?
To be honest with you, I'm gonna go with Biz.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with LaMelo.
Okay.
And so is Miles back or he's not back?
He's back.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Miles. I'm not playing PJ Washington. He's too small to clog the middle. Okay. And B gonna kill him. he gonna kill him dead.
No, but it's the playing tournament, so we're gonna be playing Boston.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Okay. So I'm going. Who I said? Miles.
You said Biz.
LaMelo. And I'm now. Believe it or not, I'm bringing Monk in.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I'm bringing Monk in.
You give him that trust that you trust him in the starting lineup, he gonna come up big.
Yes.
I remember Monk in high school. Like he was nothing to be played.
He's a dog, man.
Nothing
for that reason, man. Yeah. Let me say what Trent said. Trent said Donovan Mitchell started shining. Gordon wanted out of Utah. Come on, man, tell the truth. Jay Brown and Tatum started shining, and Kimball was brought in. He started balling. He wanted out. Now LaMelo is shining and completely blindsided Gordon. Come on, facts, 100%.
100. That's 100.
That is the truth.
That's icy. That's cold. That's cold.
That's true.
Right, the truth hurts.
Yeah, make sure y'all smash that like button for me.
For sure.
Also, yeah, PJ Washington is too inconsistent sometimes. Man, he doesn't have a low post game to be 6'8".
It's
6'9".
like he try to be a shooting guard.
Exactly.
Like a power forward.
Facts. He needs to get under the basket and do what he can't. He again a small team. This
you
is
don't
why
want to. That's the thing. If you don't got no heart to do anything, you're not gonna do it.
Right, and that's why JB said what he said last night. He said the Clippers were a bigger team. Well, that's everybody in the West and the East now. Also, Boston is a big team.
The thing that with me with JB that night he got ejected. I kind of was like, okay, finally he trying to do something and get his team riled up and try to get him calling fouls because they hurting Melo, they hurting Graham, all them. They ain't getting no foul calls like that.
Right.
Because the referee don't respect them enough.
Exactly.
And then with that, I was like, okay, JB. But every time they lose, when they were in the game, like by the third quarter, they're in the game. At the end, he don't take no ownership over anything.
100%.
This is my fault.
He's not going to do it.
He's not. But
he strikes me as a person with a personality disorder.
But it makes him look bad.
Yeah. But to be honest with you, I don't think he realizes what he's saying. Sometimes he's so into himself and pragmatic that he just I'm gonna leave him alone because I talk about him all night.
But it's all about what the team need to do better. It's what you need to do because if without you start the whole thing with the team. Everything goes through you.
So Court says
good, the team won't be good.
Exactly. And that's what I said before. I said in one of my videos, I said LaMelo was going down low, getting beat up, getting banged. And he never said one word. He never got a technical. I'm like, oh, JB watching my videos.
Oh, man.
He never got. Let me read this from Court. Up top,
he
Court
like
said,
tried to read everything in the social media and be like, I'm gonna do this.
Yep.
And that game with Alonzo and LaMelo, he did not want it to be the LaMelo and Alonzo show.
Hey, you know what? Court just said something, man, that we got to pay attention to.
Yeah.
He said teams know that play every time. Terry's gonna get the ball, and they know he's gonna shoot, and they know JB's gonna run player over and over. And guess what? LaMelo doesn't get the ball, and 90% he's wide open. You're 100% right, Court. And now, watch this: team scout teams. Man, when I was a high school football, when I was a high school football coach, the CIF said we couldn't do it, but I did it anyway. Maybe I shouldn't have said that.
But you don't think they had people paid just to watch film on things, the tendencies that players do and the teams do? Like, yes. You're going to catch that every time.
You're right.
Now it's like 60% of all Rozier's shots are contested and off like 1 foot or something.
Yeah, you're right.
60%.
Hey, Trent, man, facts, 100%. Gets none from me either. And a coach who can't call X's and O's, I'm going to stop saying his name because he gets nothing. He gets when you're trying to hide one player, because to be honest with you, Scary Terry can play a little defense, but Graham can't play any. So when you bring him in, the only reason they're running that zone is to hide him.
It's pretty sad too, man. They got LaMelo coming out on defensive plays like he don't play defense.
Exactly.
Like they put Brad Wanamaker. He 5'11", 6 foot, like Graham.
Same thing. But what does LaMelo do each time? LaMelo balls each time on defense.
For
and
sure.
we got Roger said, I feel like Monk and Melo play well together. I agree with you. Facts, 100%.
I feel like Monk played better with Melo instead of Graham, but if they have Graham, Monk, and LaMelo on the floor together, Melo not getting the ball, but at least 3-4 times in his hands.
Right, and that's my starting team right there. That will be my starting team.
But with Graham?
Yep. No, not Graham. With Miles Bridges.
Okay.
Malik Monk. Yeah, Malik Monk and LaMelo, Biz, and Terry. Since you said we're in the plan, because I just tell Terry to stand outside, don't dribble the ball, just shoot.
For sure. If I had to choose my 5, I kind of would get on Orth. I would take everything out, like with the bigs. I would give Vernon the chance in the starting lineup at the 4.
Right.
No, because he could do that poster. He could be that body in the paint. So I'll go LaMelo, Terry, Miles, Vernon Carey, and Bismack Biyombo.
Right. Let me answer these. Let me answer these right quick. That's true. JB doesn't make any in-game adjustments for some reason. He think he's Phil Jackson. Hey, Scotty, get the ball to Mike. Scotty, Diamond, Scotty. Exactly. Triangle offense. Now, Trent said this. JB has the worst rotation in the league. Come on, man. He has the watch this. They can be up by 20, or watch this. They can be down, and he's going to call a timeout and sit his starters, specifically LaMelo Ball, who's having an awesome game. Now his injured hand. I don't know if you know anything about bone structures from a perspective of anatomy and physiology. When you have a bone that's injured and that bone gets cold, it's hard to bring that bone back to where it was when it was warm. That's when you see LaMelo Ball always messing with his wrist after he comes back in, because he's trying to get heat back so the blood will flow. If you notice him on the bench, he's always what? He got it all covered. Yes, now you got it. But this act like he don't care.
For sure. But then with his rotation, he always wants to just do it like when 3 minutes in the third quarter, take out LaMelo, sit him. Then he want to put him in for crunch time, and then if he get mad if LaMelo turns the ball 1 or 2 times,
right?
But then everybody turned over the ball, and he don't say nothing.
Right. See, here's what has to happen. It says, Monk played better when LaMelo was coming off the bench with him. Yes, 100%. That's right. So watch this. Forget that positionless basketball, meaning anyone can dribble down court. Forget that. Go back to, I'm going to say like USC, the reason they're losing now in college football, because they went away what made them great. Student body left, student body right. Go back to the fundamentals of what makes you great. LaMelo Ball is a ball handler. So what you do, you let Monk do what he needs to do on defense, because he showed us one game when he threw up 30-some points. So he can score.
And he's long too.
Yes, don't get the ball out of his hand and let LaMelo facilitate. Let LaMelo drive and kick. If they do that, whole different game.
Yeah, I like Monk coming off the bench though. He's swift with it. But Miles Bridges, he needs to stay starting. And LaMelo Ball, like you see when they kind of tried to manipulate where Graham was going to try to get more playing time to LaMelo when he was like coming back from injury. They were really trying to stall.
Because you can't hide him, and now people are exposing it. Why? Because we're talking about it. Yeah. Trust me, man. Athletes are social media gurus. They're listening. When they see their name or something goes on, they play it and they listen. They might not say anything, but they're checking it out. Yeah, so no, and that's 100% right. He says, yes, Monk played better when Melo was coming off the bench with him. That's right. And Bridges did too.
Yep.
But the problem is, will they go away from positionless basketball and play fundamental point guard 1 through 5? If they go back doing that and forget that zone and go and find some sand somewhere and run in the sand for a day to get 2 days before the game and come out fast, I wonder who's the fastest cat on the team. Does anybody know?
It's probably Terry.
Right? You think so?
I feel like LaMelo with the ball in his hands is the fastest, but Terry, he the fastest up and down that court.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And that's what I mean. So
that's
when
why
you
they good together, like if Terry was running like on fast breaks, that's why Terry always running the side the lanes, and LaMelo always coming with the ball down because them together, the defense can't catch up.
Right, exactly. So when you have that, man, and you have those things going, and if everybody's on that same plane or boat, guess what happens? If you go back and watch that game for the Clippers last night, watch their defensive rotation, even in man.
Yeah,
it looked like zone, but it wasn't because they're so fast.
You can tell they don't run in practice. Charlotte don't run in practice.
Exactly. And again, everything is about wind sprints. Again, when I go back to coaching high school football, we will blow teams out. I coached JV. Come on. So then when I came out of the tunnel at halftime, I'm like, what we got varsity players out here for? We JV. They didn't win and got their varsity players because how do I know? They have the letters on their helmet. I'm like, and then we blow them out. Why? Coach said, man, what do y'all do? We run the triple. Come on now, we run the triple wing. But then what I do, my players running sand 3 days a week. Because they got to be faster than you. They got to be tougher than you mentally. And that's what this coach don't get, man. He don't get it. He rather blame the players.
And we the people with the analysts, what is it? Those people be talking about on the media, old media.
Right.
They'll be saying, oh, Gordon Hayward, the one that got the Charlotte Hornets to the 4th seed. And when he's out, Melo got him there because they were like the 6th, 7th seed.
Exactly.
And then when he got in the starting lineup, they went up to the 4th.
Exactly. And that's the reality, man. And the kids, I do believe what someone said earlier that he should be rookie of the year. I forgot who it was. I want to give you big respect for that because it is true. When you have a kid, man, watch this. He only played 12 games in Australia last year. 12 games. Then he had the boot on his foot. 12 games. So now he's up at, I think he only missed 30% of the games. All right, but he's still playing. And even with an injury, he's balling. He's still balling. He's passing the ball with his left hand. And watch this. I want to show you something that most people, they're not watching. Mm-hmm. If you watch the stellar NBA point guards with a little age, Rajon Rondo again is passing the ball like LaMelo.
Talk to him.
People are studying this kid's game, man. You got point guards trying to do the same thing who's been in the league for a while. Underhanded passes, left-hand passes. I was watching TDD or whatever the man's name for the Lakers. He was doing it the other night. I'm like, oh, okay. So y'all want that same. Yeah, y'all want the same thing. So guess what y'all doing? You're learning the same fundamentals that his dad taught him, but no one wants to give his dad credit.
They don't. And that's the big thing. They don't want to give LeVar credit because they always down talk LeVar.
Yes.
And when that whole situation with Big Baller Brand with Lonzo and the $1 million conspiracy and everything like that, they were talking down on LeVar's brand.
Right.
It's a joke. He has no control. They tried to pin the whole family against each other. I didn't like that. There's
always a narrative behind things. And let me share my views on LeVar and what happened. LeVar is very strategic. He's very smart and he's full of wisdom. The NBA, because they knew they wanted to steal some of the things that he was doing or that was working, what they had to do was to create a narrative that he's a bad guy. He's not a great dad. He's aggressive. He tells women, we can switch gears anytime. But from a cultural...
When that happened, they hopped on that like raccoons in the garbage. They wanted something just like, oh, this is our opportunity.
Right. From a cultural perspective, we're okay with that. Yeah. Because that's what we do. Switching gears just means change the topic.
Yeah, change
it doesn't mean anything. Let's change the subject. But they blew it up. Why? Because they all got together in a meeting, in a corporate meeting, and said we have to change the narrative and how individuals see him. Why? Because we pay the NBA big money because of media rights and media attention. We have to change how people see him because what we want to do is become ball dominant. What does that mean? LeVar Ball started the JBA, and the JBA gave kids Cadillacs and other things. LaMelo Ball went over to Australia, made $500,000 and didn't need the NBA G League. League. So what did the G League do under the development of the NBA? They started a system now to where G League players don't have to go to college. You can play 1 year in the G League at $100,000 and you could be drafted the next year. That's LeVar's system.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny about that? I was just watching the other day the Magic and Bird courtside shit. The NBA were in the same situation as the JBA when no fans were watching, none of that like that. And then when Magic and Bird came, they set the standard and all the fans started watching again.
Now you got it.
Everybody gonna start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere.
But the only way you can create that narrative, you have to make LeVar look bad that he took money from kids and he didn't support kids in the G League. He took his son out of high school and sent him over to Lithuania, then brought him back and sent him to Spire, then brought him back and sent him to Australia. All those are negative to hide their hand. Man, a thief never shows his hand. What's this? A thief will not break into an empty house. He just won't do it. The reason they picking and mess with LeVar Ball is because his ideologies on success.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to use his narrative. I'm telling you. So guess what? And we're going to keep your son out the G League.
For sure. But the whole situation with that, Leandro kind of messed himself up. He put him in that situation with that Louis Vuitton in China, stealing that purse and stuff, that little wallet thing.
Right. Glasses.
That situation that gave him a reason. Oh, wait. Yeah, now give him a reason not to put him in the league.
But watch this. None of those reasons worked. LaMelo was in Australia balling, crossing people over, dropping dimes, and they said his game was inconsistent. This is what old media said. They said his shot is broken like his brother's. They changed the narrative to where they wanted that kid to get drafted in the second round.
And he would have got drafted.
Come on now.
It's the image. They tried to portray an image on LiAngelo and make him out to be the ugly duckling of the group.
Right.
Oh, we got two. We can't let that third one in. Then LeVar gonna be talking.
And it's all to change the narrative because there's something behind it. A thief is only a thief because he has a narrative of theft. There's something about him casing a house. There's something in there that they want. It's a reason they focus because there's value. So what I got to do, I got to study how to make you look bad so I can get your value. There's no way you're going to brand your own brand in your son. We allowed Michael Jordan to do it with Nike and they gave him a half of what he was doing, but we're not going to allow it. So then LaMelo comes up and blow everybody out the water. Watch this. Who gets $1 million shoe deal and don't have a closing line out yet?
For sure.
Who does that?
I feel like Puma waiting for him to win the Rookie of the Year to give him that they gonna come up with that shoe.
They gonna blow the NBA out. And watch this. When LaMelo stuff drop, you gonna see players across the NBA leaving Phil Knight and Nike and going to Puma. Trust me, there's something big right now. And LeVar is part of it. Come on.
I already see Rozier wearing Pumas.
Come on.
I already see Rozier wearing Pumas. And they're kind of jealous of that. The team is he comes in like that big and ball.
But guess what's all behind this? LeVar Ball. Nobody talked about LeVar. I have pictures of him coaching his sons in AAU ball, and all the kids used to stay over his house, spend the night. He feed them all. He take care of them all. He made sure all of them. He made sure all of them could get to the games. Their parent. Watch this. These are parents who were economically good. They weren't challenged, and they trust him with their children. His wife was an educator. They had things in perspective. There's no way he broke the mold of poor economics. And when you break the mold of poor economics and you're not only changing your house, you're changing the lives of other people. Look at Eli now, who's at Loyola. Then you got the other kid who plays center, who was at SC now. He's in the NBA. So guess what? No matter what they say, man, the true narrative will speak.
Mm-hmm. And the Black Strong Fathers.
Yes, will speak. Hey, what Pumas you get? got the Puma Jet too. Okay.
Yeah, I see. They pretty nice. I saw people on YouTube. They were like kind of like breaking down the shoe and the type of material and everything.
Right.
I was like, I gotta get me a pair of those.
Yeah. And look, as long as they put some insoles in there for me, I'm good.
And you can get those insoles for CBS, the blue.
Yeah. Because if not, they're gonna say Big J walking kind of funny in them nice shoes.
Hey.
Why would you buy some shoes like that and you can't sport them? No, man, I'm good. Hey, man, but I want to go ahead.
But the Pelicans not making the play-in tournament, right?
No, they're done. They're done. Washington is struggling also. Until Bradley Beal got hurt, Washington was good.
Those triple doubles don't mean nothing unless you win.
Exactly. When Bradley Beal got hurt, he put up that 50 that night.
Yeah,
that was it. That was it. But I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you who. Let me see what Trent said. If Monk doesn't relinquish the number, now good narrative. Good narrative. Hey, can LaMelo buy it from him, or if he's that cool, why won't he just give it up? Trent, just give it up to him.
He need to give it up. He need to give it up. I don't know what is taking so long. I know it's the season now. It's like, okay, but at the end of the season, if LaMelo not number one, something wrong.
Yes, 100%. Because that's just who he is. And the fabric of his economic creation that goes with the balance of his marketing, it makes a fan want to see number one.
For sure. But then he's going to be a lot of money if he gets that number one. That number two
exactly.
jersey.
Yeah, and that's what Ray Ross said. He said, facts, Melo needs number one. I agree 100%. That's it. That's a part of his signature. When he gets his shoe, that's going to be a part of his signature because that's just what he does and who he is. Before we get off, I'm going to ask you guys a question. How far back? Well, I'm not going to even go there. My videos do it. But is anybody kind of pumped up about the New York Knicks going back to the playoffs?
Hey, I was lit about that. D Rose, I'm glad he's back.
Yeah.
After all that he went through,
right?
He deserved it.
Yeah. So do we see what free agency does? And like you said earlier, man, it was only Boston and the Lakers, Magic and Bird, Bill Russell and Kareem, or Lou Alcindor, or going back beyond that. But now free agency allows teams through the cap to build their franchise, which was small or low market team, and now allow them to become competitive. In my opinion, though, this is just me, and I'm a LaMelo Ball fan. Mm-hmm. The East is always going to be weak.
Yeah,
it's just because the way people draft and how it is. That's why I believe LeBron got out the East.
To another 5-6 years.
Right. See why LeBron left Miami and Cleveland? Because he no longer he needed to win, and he didn't want to be seen as a loser playing out the East. But this year, like I tell people, the NBA champion will come out of New Jersey, out of Boston. Unfortunately.
I feel like Los Angeles is not going to make it this year.
Nah, they're not. They're not. They got rid of too many pieces. Believe it or not, no matter however you want to see it, Rajon Rondo made a difference.
Yeah.
JaVale McGee, who's not even playing in Denver, made a difference.
McGee.
Made a difference. He was a rim. We just got to tell the truth. Made a difference. And so now,
is a fool trying to play my man Joel.
Yes, exactly. So
he's a big body. Anybody would want him on the team.
Yeah, and see, watch this. When he plays in Denver, he gets sick because he has asthma. Mm-hmm. And so running in that high altitude at times bother him, from what I understand. You know, his mother played at USC, the McGee twins, Pam and Paula McGee. Yeah.
They used to put that on, like they be doing those presentations.
Exactly.
Like commercials and stuff.
Right.
McGee's mother, she was a USC star.
Yeah. Pam McGee. I watched those games. Let's see what we got. Yeah. Hornets should trade for JaVale. That's what I said a long time ago. If you bring JaVale to the Hornets with LaMelo, Miles, Rozier, and Monk, you win it, man.
Icy.
You're 100% right. And I said that all along, but for some reason, Charlotte don't want to spend money or get rid of people and make moves. And for me, MJ, if you haven't won, Michael Jordan, and everything you've done as far as a GM, owner, or manager has not worked, and you want to solidify being a great owner, you got to ante up some of that MJ money. Come on now, you got to give up some of that Nike money, because if not, this team is destined for failure. And all you have to do is look at the past. Watch this. I'm going to say this quote. If you always do what you've always done, you will always have what you always had. And I hope somehow MJ hears that, because if you always do what you've always done as an owner, even with LaMelo on the team, you're still going to have the same fundamental situation because you're not willing to change. You're willing to kill and sabotage your own team because you don't want to change. Change is necessary. And the unfortunate thing about this, in life, there's something that says, I don't think it's Nietzsche, there's something that says you only get 2 opportunities to change or to win in life. And the word is opportunity, but the Latin word for that is the word chance. So did you not, guys, not know it? That we're going to get 2 chances to do something great, to do something special, to do something amazing. That's why we can't take advantage of our days and let them go by as though it means nothing. I can do it tomorrow. Today is an opportunity to do something great and make your name and your path and your way amazing.
Big J, keep it at 100.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But, I'm gonna say a quote that every time I think of JB, I be like, yo, this is the quote for him. Doing the same thing and expecting different results is insanity.
Yes, sir. It's That's definitely insanity. A sign. It's definitely a sign. you keep putting a penny in the bank and go trying to withdraw $1 million, something wrong. And that's what he has to come to, man. Yeah, and I'm like this gentleman and young ladies. I know other people, content creators, are coming on in a little while. I try to be focused and fair with YouTube because there's too many individuals fighting on it already. So I try to take time slots to where nobody's not on, or if I don't see them scheduling, then I'll jump on. But I want to say I appreciate everyone who was on tonight, who dialogued. It made a big difference here tonight. You're welcome anytime. It's not about
you for having me, man.
Yeah, it's not about me. It's about the us. Because in the team, because we're all trying to reach the same place. In team, there's no acronyms. I mean, the acronyms for team are TEAM. There's no I. Together, everyone achieves more. And tonight, I believe we achieved a great understanding with everyone in this room who lent and gave information about sports and news. We want to say we appreciate you. You got something to say, big man, as we close out?
Yeah, just click the like and subscribe button if you haven't. Big J, let's talk. It's the next big and up and coming show. You hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm learning from all. There you go, Macrina, and that's the key. That's why we all have to. I look at that. If you notice, I sound like a preacher because I am. I do it from a church perspective. This is a fellowship.
I know when you start closing your eyes and you look at down, like, he preaching.
This is a fellowship, and in a fellowship, it doesn't belong to us, but the opportunity does. So we can't be selfish with it. We have to support and help others. So if anyone is trying to become a content creator and develop something like DJ does, I'll help you too. I don't have an issue with it because it don't belong to me. We got that.
And death and life is in the power of the tongue.
Come on, brother. Now you
speaking truth.
Now
positivity. So
yes, sir.
Bound to happen sooner or later.
Yes, sir. Now you're on it. You're in my world. So I want to thank everyone for being on tonight. You are truly amazing. If you have not done so, smash that like button. If you've done it already, make sure you leave a comment. Also, if you have not subscribed, you see what's going on here, you hear and understand. Now is your opportunity to become part of Big J Let's Talk. We are a team of creators only seeking to give the best in news and information. Everybody have a great evening.
Have a good day.
All right now.